Ever wondered what happened to The Big Lebowski? This cult classic almost faded into obscurity before becoming a cultural phenomenon. But here's where it gets fascinating. The journey of this 1998 film is as quirky and unpredictable as its protagonist, the dude. Let's dive into the story behind this iconic. From his love of White Russians to his penchant for contemporary throw rugs, the dude is a cultural icon, but his origins are as eclectic as his personality. In this deep dive, we'll explore how the Coen Brothers crafted this fan favorite, the real-life inspirations behind the dude, and the surprising twists that shape the film's legacy. And this is the part most people miss. Despite its polished retro aesthetic, The Big Lebowski was a modestly budgeted film that initially flopped at the box office. So, how did it go from financial disappointment to a cult classic? Let's find out. Released in 1998, The Big Lebowski follows the dude, a man who embodies the essence of carefree living. With no real job, a lax approach to hygiene, and a love for bowling and weed, he's the epitome of the good life. But when he's mistaken for a millionaire named Jeff Lebowski, the dude is thrust into a wild conspiracy involving kidnapping, German nihilists, and a star-studded cast including Julianne Moore and Tara Reid. Here's the controversial part. While the film's cast is undeniably perfect, the real magic lies behind the camera with Joel and Ethan Coen, the masterminds behind classics like Raising Arizona, Fargo, and No Country for Old Men. The Coens began brainstorming The Big Lebowski in 1991, inspired by novelist Raymond Chandler's exploration of social classes. They envisioned a story where an unlikely hero embarks on a deeply complex, yet ultimately trivial mission. Ethan Coen described it as a movie about nothing, and that's precisely what makes it so brilliant. The dude, with his lovable, dazed, and unbothered demeanor, became the perfect vessel for this narrative. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The dude wasn't just one person. Jeff Lebowski's character is primarily based on Jeff Dowd, a film producer known as the Dude, who loved White Russians. However, the Coen brothers also drew inspiration from Peter Exline, a film school acquaintance, who lived in a rundown house but had a throw rug that, you guessed it, really tied the room together. Exline's participation in a community softball league inspired the film's bowling theme, which the Coens saw as the perfect backdrop for dialogue-heavy scenes. Despite their vision, the Coens hit a snag around page 40 of the script. They took a break to make Fargo one of their biggest hits before returning to The Big Lebowski. With Fargo's success still fresh, Polygram and Working Title Films greenlit the project without hesitation. Casting was a breeze, with John Goodman as the unhinged Walter, Steve Buscemi as the lovable Donnie, and John Turturro as the scene-stealing Jesus Quintana. Here's a fun fact. Jesus even got his own spin-off film, The Jesus Rolls, though it didn't quite reach the same heights as its predecessor. Jeff Bridges wasn't the first choice for the dude. That honor went to Mel Gibson, who reportedly didn't take the role seriously. Bridges initially hesitated, worried about setting a bad example for his daughters, but one of them, a Coen fan, convinced him to take the meeting. The rest, as they say, is history. Bridges even borrowed the dude's wardrobe from his own closet and studied Jeff Dowd's mannerisms to perfect the character's slouch and shuffle. The film's retro 1960s and 70s Los Angeles aesthetic, complete with pastel colors and a killer soundtrack, adds to its timeless appeal. Cinematographer Roger Deakins aimed for a grounded, contemporary look that contrasted with the film's surreal dream sequence, a scene so iconic it's practically a music video. Despite its polished appearance, The Big Lebowski was made on a modest $15 million budget, with real LA locations saving costs. Filming was as fun and free-spirited as the movie itself, with the cast's genuine chemistry shining through in every scene. But when the film was released, it bombed at the box office, grossing just $19.5 million worldwide. It wasn't until its home video release that The Big Lebowski found its audience, eventually becoming a cult classic that inspired a real-life bowling boom in 1999. So what the fuck happened to The Big Lebowski? It went from obscurity to immortality, proving that sometimes the best stories take time to find their audience. But here's the question. Is The Big Lebowski a masterpiece because of its quirky characters, its genre-bending narrative, or its ability to resonate with audiences years after its release? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your take.